Hi guys, I hope you're having a good Sunday. First and foremost, we have some good news to share with you in terms of Charlotte and ours reception in our local newspapers. As you guys know, we finished our 200 and slightly more than 200 mile walk, and this is a piece from our local paper. I say local, it's quite large, it covers about 300,000 plus people.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is I'll attach rather a photo of that, and I'll try and get as much of the text in it as possible so you can have a read of that. Again, in the same publication, Charlotte features on the front here. I know you probably can't see that, but I'm not in a position where I can really zoom in without using the focus, so I'll put in the pictures of that as well. And this is the inside of that piece, featuring myself, you and Dad and Charlotte in the format of a picture we're holding up, which we did for Stand Up to Cancer. So we'll fill you in with those bits as well via some photographs. Not the most flattering pictures
No.
in here, you have to say. I look quite portly, but
So do I.
there's also a small bit about Charlotte on the bottom, which I will photograph for you, and hopefully you'll enjoy reading that.
I would just like to say at the bottom of the paper there is actually a misprint because it says that Charlotte was diagnosed with glioblastoma in July 2013. That is not the case. As we know, she was diagnosed with that in October 2015. So I just wanted to make that. There was an error in the print there.
Okay, and you're going to continue?
I'm just going to continue on with Charlotte's journey just up to the end of Christmas 2013, so just filling you in a little bit on what happened with radiotherapy, etc. Just to pick up really from where I left off last week, so Charlotte finished her radiotherapy on the 22nd of November 2013. Very pleased to get through it. She was totally worn out by the end, and the last time that she had to go and lie on the radiotherapy table she was just in tears. It had all become too much for her, by which time she was also very weak. We ended up coming home after that, and in the December she was put back on her temozolomide again, her chemotherapy, so that started. Her eating became a major problem because of her burnt esophagus. She could only eat a pretzel, some popcorn and some pasta, and she phoned the hospital to find out how long it would be before she could eat, and they said probably by Christmas she'd be having a Christmas dinner. Well, that certainly wasn't the case. She ate those three foods until July of the following year. Her weight absolutely plummeted to just over 7 stone. She was very tiny indeed. I couldn't even cook meat. The smell of meat used to repulse her. She also used to carry around with her some mouthwash. It was a special mouthwash because she said her mouth always tasted awful. So the effects of radiotherapy go on for many months afterwards. It's not just a question of your radiotherapy is done and that's it, certainly in the case of where they're doing the brain and the spine together. Her other big problem, of course, was that she'd got total hair loss by this time. And in fact, we used to go into our local shops and people would stop and stare at her, and on one occasion actually walk behind her just to check that she was completely bald all over. In the end we started to have a bit of a game with it, and she would take her hat off at the beginning of Churchill Square and she'd just say, "I'm going to have fun now." And in fact she used to stare people out and they used to look terribly embarrassed because she said it was just so awful to be stared at because she had a bald head. And she said it was fairly obvious that there was probably something wrong with her more than that she just shaved her head for something to do. So that really took it out of her, and she would get very upset with everything to do with the hair loss. Christmas that year was good. She was wiped out, but it was a really nice Christmas and it was her favourite time of the year. She was on a lot of medication because her skin had swelled at all. It had sort of got pitted from so much medication that she'd been on. It was almost like acne. And the back of her spine where the radiotherapy had been, fortunately it didn't crack, but we were having to put loads and loads of aqueous cream on it because obviously she was not allowed to have any sort of scented bubble bath or anything. The only thing that she could bathe in was Johnson's baby shampoo. And so we got to the end, thank goodness, of December 2013, and I didn't actually think that we would be in a position when we started that earlier that year, that I didn't even think that she'd be seeing that Christmas, but she did. So next time I will continue on our journey through the following year, which I have to say 2014 was the absolute best year. She was so happy, and the whole year it was almost like being free of the cancer. We did have our ups and downs, but it was a lot easier. So we're hoping the charity we're still working on very much, and we are hoping to have a launch hopefully sort of towards, I think, the end of October. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope it's been some help, whatever. If you do have any questions, please do ask below. I'm more than happy to answer them. Thank you. Bye.